Mwacharo. You're watching the Sabah Show
on Horizon TV.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Mpenzi mtazamaji, tayari meli ya The Sabah Show ikiwa leo ni tarehe 8 siku ya Alhamisi, ndio hiyo inang'oa nanga sanchari ama sambamba na tarehe 7 mwezi wa Dhulhijja, mtazamaji, rasmi na kukaribisha katika kipindi The Sabah Show ukiwa nami Mariam Mwacharo, na kama kawaida yetu huwa tunaangazia masuala yako ya afya siku hii ya Alhamisi, na unajua kwamba masuala yako ya afya huwa ni mambo tofauti tofauti. Leo tutakuwa tunazungumzia magonjwa ya umio wa hewa ama respiratory diseases, lakini hayo yote ni hapo baadaye. Kwa sasa na kikosi murwa kabisa cha kuweza kuchambua magazeti, wachanganuzi na wachambuzi wa magazeti nikiwa nao hapa ni sana mabwana, na moja kwa moja mtazamaji, kabla sija poteza kusihi uendelee kutegea. Iwapo unatutegea basi unaweza kutupata katika kurasa zetu za mitandao Instagram, Twitter and Facebook @Horizontv Kenya, ama tovuti yetu www.horizontv.co.ke. Kumbuka tunakupeperushia vipindi vyetu moja kwa moja kutoka jengo la katikati mwa jiji la Nairobi. Karibuni sana. Tukianza na gazeti la The Star, pale habari iliyopewa kipaumbele ni kwamba Ruto's dilemma as fresh Mau evictions loom. Now, Environment Cabinet Secretary Keriako Tobiko insists that the action aimed at reclaiming Kenya's largest water tower begins next week. Na habari hiyo pia inaendelea pale ukurasa wa 4 na ukurasa wa 5. Pengine nikiweza tu kuwaelezea ni kwamba a showdown looms between the government and Deputy President William Ruto's brigade as a massive eviction of settlers from the Mau forest kicks off. Now, gazeti hili linasema kwamba it has established that the government has already activated security personnel to kick out this particular exercise. Na tunajua kwamba Kenya, we are facing a lot of environmental changes. Do you think that this is a move in the right direction, Abu Bakar?
Yeah, I think it's a correct move to evict people from the Mau forest. Is a major water catchment area that you have in this country. It's a vast forest and it's very useful and very essential for this country. Now, people went there, you know, it looked like free land. They went, settled there, and it became their land. For 50 years they have been there, and more than 50 years, very many years to say so. Now the conflict is, now these are people who belong to Ruto's community, and they expect that because he's in a powerful position or so, he'll cry out for them and, you know, prevent them from the evictions. But what last time what happened when the eviction started, only Murkomen was talking on behalf of the residents of the area. Now, because by all logic, these people should not be in the forest. They should not be, you know, for them to be living there, they have cut trees, they have cleared vegetation so that they can build their houses and settle there. So we need to look at what is more essential. Is it the country's well-being? The country's, you know, food security is dependent on rain and the climate. Now, is it the country's welfare or a few people who are doing the wrong thing that we should think about? So, despite that they are from the Deputy President's community, you know, justice should stand. That if not only in this matter, in all matter, you have seen in the recent past, in some cases, at a certain time, at least now it has gone, you will see that a person has been accused of corruption, and the community comes out and say, no, we are being neglected, we are being intimidated, you know. But when the person was stealing the money, he was not with the community, he was doing it on an individual basis. So I think logic should take place, and, you know, the eviction should continue.
Yeah. Unasemaje Said, pengine nikikuuliza, unajua kwamba water catchment areas zetu ni kidogo sana. Tayari we have a raw katika Migingo Island, you know, people Uganda and Kenya tunapigana kwa sababu ya Migingo, tunataka ile maji, samaki, na tayari hali ya hewa imebadilika nchini. Kama sasa unaona bado tunapokea mvua, wakati sasa ni wakati wa kiangazi, wakati wa mavuno. Unaona je, this is the move that we should take to save our environmental conditions right now?
Of course, we don't have much options left. We must save water catchment areas. And if you look at the headline of the Star, they are saying that Ruto is in dilemma. You know, Ruto is a deputy president,
Yes.
so he's a person who is supposed to execute these things. He's a person supposed to lead in conserving water catchment areas. But if you look at the history, the fallout between former Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga and Deputy President William Ruto, it was fueled by Mau evictions. You remember William Ruto and his brigade, they are very vocal in saying that Prime Minister is targeting Kalenjin community. So the Deputy President has found the shoe on the other side.
Yeah.
Now he is a person who is supposed to execute this thing, yet in the past he protested against move of evicting Mau, people residing in Mau.
Yeah.
And as I have said, we don't have option. We have to do this, because if we fail to do this, of course we will experience problems in future and will not protect the generations to come. And I'm saying this because, as you know, across the country and even across globe, there is an outcry of things like global warming,
Yeah.
things like of desertification of places where we had trees, and of course this has effect on even agriculture, amount of rainfall the country receives, or the patterns of rainfall. So we have no option. We have to conserve Mau. But now there's what is called moral and political consequences. The moral thing to do is to save Mau. Now we have the Deputy President who once protested against the eviction of people in Mau. Now,
I think
will
maybe
he continue? Will he do the moral thing, that is conserving Mau, or will he stand with his earlier stand of saying that Mau people should be left?
I think people like leaders should just come together and decide where to resettle these people, and then so that we can save our water catchment areas for better prosperity for all of us. Tukiendelea na lile gazeti la People Daily pale, unasema spy computers raw hits Kenya-China relations, and the story continues on page 9. Detectives holding donated gadgets suspected to have been targeting MPs debate. If I continue with the story, it says that a diplomatic row is brewing between Kenya and China, with reports that local intelligence of officials have confiscated electronic gadgets imported as donation to Parliament, raising fears of budging. Do you think that Kenya should be concerned about this?
Yeah, I think Kenya should be concerned, because when you have a whole country, you know, it's like they are, you know, they come in the name of, you are giving donations to in form of electronic gadgets, and they have bags, you know. Now we have a Kenyan parliament, a whole country's parliament is bagged. So this means that the decisions they are making, China is aware of them, you know, and so this will give them an upper hand in influencing, or, you know, in planning, you know, how to get ahead economically and such kind of things. We have seen in some years back, somewhere in Karen, you have Chinese, they have built very thick walled houses, so that, you know, they have computers in there, they are sorry, they are hacking bank systems, you know, they are stealing from banks, you know, because they are well endowed technologically.
But don't you think every electronic gadget is actually, you know, like looped? Somebody is listening in on your conversation, somebody is actually watching who you're talking to and texting all the time.
It's not completely secure, not even our mobile phones are secure, but, you know, we need to have countermeasures, because now the sovereignty of the state is, you know, it's very important. So I believe in Kenya we also have people who hacked Safaricom and such. We also have good brains who can, you know, try and counter such things that are happening. We have people who study abroad and, you know, come back to the country. The government should employ such, because, you know, as much as in African countries we might not view this as a big problem, but, you know, look at US, they claimed that elections were kind of influenced by the Russians, that they hacked the system or something. That's what we reached to such an extent. So we need to, kill this thing before it grows up.
And I think Kenya should start investing rather in their own people, because I believe we do have people who can actually manufacture these gadgets for our MPs, right?
Of course we should invest, and by there it is very unfortunate that China is doing that, because we have regarded China as a friend. Of course our relations have improved over time. Therefore it is not a moral thing to do to spy on our MPs or to spy on anyone. And of course we agree China is ahead technologically, and of course we depend on them on various matters regarding to issues that touch on technology, but they should of course be moral in their undertakings, and they should do what is right. Of course we know very well in this world we say that we have a rule that survival for the fittest. Everyone is pulling toward themselves. China is pulling towards itself. It is a capitalistic world. Every country is protecting its interest, and they want to get an upper hand in everything. For example, when dealing with Kenya, they want to get information prior to some dealings so that they can benefit with that information.
So
because information is very important
for the country itself to actually start investing in your own people, because otherwise what will our IT people be doing? When we come back, when time allows that, we're going to take a look at this sad story rather. On the Standard, the splash there, it says CS governor named in land row killings, and the story continues on page 6, and it continues to say a cabinet secretary and a governor should have been investigated for their alleged roles in a string of murders that rocked a land buying company in Murang'a. A judge actually said that. And we've heard of these extrajudicial killings so many times. What do you think is the solution? Because extrajudicial killings have been there since time immemorial in this country. What do you think is the solution that actually the government should take against even its own leaders?
We should be harsh on matters to do with deaths. Of course, as you have said, we have experienced extrajudicial killings and, of course, even assassinations of leaders, and no one has ever been prosecuted over these assassinations, which is very unfortunate. And over time, these people have become bold. Some people think they can do anything and get away with it because we don't have history of punishment. No one has ever been punished because of these assassinations and extrajudicial killings. It is also very unfortunate. Our leaders are the people who are doing these things, and they are still in government. It means we are being led by criminals. People who are entrusted in our affairs, people who are entrusted in, of course, leading this country are criminals or they are rogues. So I believe, even as a society, we should look at ourselves. How did it happen that we elect people who are rogues or who are criminals? Because mostly the leadership of the country is a reflection of the society. The people tend to vote people who look like them, and that is what has happened over time.
So do you think, Abubakar, if I may ask you, do you think that we ourselves as citizens of this country are first maybe crooked, first bad people? That's why we've elected them. Is this why there's so many killings at the same time? Like we know in Nyanza County, in Kakamega, you know, people are just murdering their families. Do you think this is the reason that the leaders have been, you know?
Yeah, I think it's a problem with the society. As much as at times we demonize politicians, we say they are bad people, but who elected them? We put them in those positions so that they can represent us. And look at the basis of us electing our leaders. Tribal lines, regions, ethnicity and such. For a political rally to be successful, some people have to be given money. Youths have to come and be given 500 shillings each or something. And if the person doesn't give, now the person won't be voted for, despite his agenda or such. So
now what are you saying? Are you saying that when we want to elect leaders, we import leaders too?
No, not importing leaders. I think we are choosing the wrong leaders. Because we always have people who have an agenda for this country. But we are lured by the money that they give us. And when they get into these positions that you have put them, they want to recover the money that they spent on us. That's how corruption comes. Now, for the issue of killings, the issue at hand is the CS governor and also a county commissioner was involved and some other senior leaders. It was because of 1,288 acres of land. Now, I think last month, also a governor in Northeastern was accused or was suspected to be in connection with the killing of a person who had knowledge about him that could, take him down politically. It's an issue of impunity. Because as soon as people get away with these things, they happen everywhere in the globe. But when we let it, occur, concurrently many times, but what we should do, we have the DCI, we have the court system. The moment these people have charges against them in court, the moment there is evidence against them, they are sentenced to 10 years imprisonment or something, despite you being a CS, or that's where it starts. That's where we start, curbing such kind of killings, because the moment these people, that CS governor and county commissioner, when they get away with it, it will be now another chance. It will be another politician somewhere will reflect on this and see, if
just
it
hold that
before.
thought. We'll get back to this discussion.
And before even we proceed to the next point,
let's just hold there, and then we'll get back to this discussion after the break. Mtazamaji, endelea kututegea katika Horizon TV, the premier Islamic TV station. Tutaregea muda usokuwa mrefu. Endelea kututegea pia katika social media platforms zetu, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter and Facebook at Horizon TV Kenya, ama utupate katika tovuti yetu www.horizontv.co.ke. Tunaregea.
Na kwetu wanatambua kama Mariam Wacharo. You're watching the Sabah Show
on Horizon TV. Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Waswahili wanasema chilea utapata mwana si wako. Kwa majina ni Muhammad Ogura na hii ni Sabah Show
on Horizon TV.
Ahlan wa sahlan wa marhaban. You are watching the Sabah Show. Keep it locked right here on Horizon TV.
Kwa jina nilobarikiwa nalo ni Ibtisam Jamal. Ungana nami katika Sabah Show
on Horizon TV. On the next episode,
kumwambia mwenzako nyamaza na wewe ushasema pia.
Ushasema.
Ukimwambia wewe nyamaza bwana, watu hutuba endelea, na wewe utakuwa ushasema. Tumesema faman lagha wa man lagha fala jum'ata lahu. Mwenye kuleta upuzi wa maneno jambo lote hakuna Ijumaa. Kwa hiyo mtu ameingia taka nyamaza kimya, asikize hutuba hata kama lugha haielewi, akete sikilize. Ndio wasio mtume kwamba ansitu wastami'u la'allakum turhamun. Msikilize ile hutuba mtarehemewa na Mwenyezi Mungu.
Kuna wale ambao itikadi zao kwamba Lailatul Qadr ni tarehe 27 basi. Wanasahau kwamba Mtume sallallahu alaihi wasallam anasema ikiwa unahitaji kupata fadhila huo usiku, chagua katika zile autar, katika idadi za witri, kwa sababu wengi katika maulama wanasema ule usiku hauitu usiku mmoja, bali nenda ikipishana. Huenda mwakani ikaanguka tarehe 21 usiku wake, mwaka ujao utaanguka tarehe 23. Kwa hivyo Lailatul Qadr inaenda ikipishana.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
na kwetu wanatambua kama Mariam Wacharo. You're watching the Sabah Show
on Horizon TV.
Na mtazamaji, shukran sana kwa kuendelea kutegea the premier Islamic TV station Horizon TV. Tumeshamaliza kitengo cha kwanza cha uchambuzi wa magazeti leo, ikiwa ni Healthy Thursdays. Kipindi ni Stay Healthy hapo baadaye. Kwa sasa tunaendelea na uchambuzi wetu wa magazeti. Ulikuwa unataka kusema kitu kabla hatujaenda kwenye break?
Before we proceed to the next point, of course, I want to quote Chinua Achebe, who said that things are falling apart. We are no longer at peace, and center can no longer hold. It usually happens in society when bad people outweigh good people. Of course, the society collapses, and that is what has happened in our country. And I have blamed society for what has happened.
You blame the society?
I blame the society, and by the actually our religion says that, of course, if you are bad people, you'll be led by bad leaders. That is what our religion says. And now what will help us? We must have shrewd leaders, leaders who will save the nation. We must have few people who must now come out strongly and save the country, like it is happening with the DPP, Nurdin Haji. Yes.
Okay, let's move on to the Daily Nation. Pale kuna habari ya kusikitisha pia, 1998 bomb survivors to miss 430 billion pay, na inaendelea kusema kwamba only those working at the US embassy when terrorists attacked it in 1998 could benefit from a huge payout expected in June next year, which leaves hundreds of ordinary victims, Kenyan citizens, who bore the brunt of the attacks to their own devices. Na inasemekana kwamba hii habari inaendelea pale ukurasa 5, inasemekana kwamba hasa Marekani pia iliweza kutoa hela kuweza kufidia wale watu ambao walikuwa attacked, you know, on the bomb in 1998. Do you think the government is probably lying to its citizens, or money has been swindled somewhere?
You know, if at all the US government had released money to those who were attacked, the victims of the bombs,
1998 bomb,
then they would have given information about it. Those specifically who are working in the embassy, not those affected, not those who are in the building at any one time. You know, it's very unfortunate. It's that money should be allocated to the victims of the attack. We have at the former embassy there, we have that list of people who are, you know, died out of it and were affected in one way or another. We should have those people being compensated themselves, and it's an issue of diplomacy. Now, it's for the issue for the Kenyan government to know, go and talk for the citizens of the country, you know, and say that our people are affected. Now, if you are the US embassy was attacked, but Kenyans were affected, Kenyans died, you know, and it's the role of the government to cry for on our behalf, so that this money not only goes to those who are working, but all the victims of the attack.
And in fact, according to research, it says that some of these cases, if they go unanswered and actually not taken care of properly, these are some of the reasons that actually lead to people becoming, you know, extremist and joining extremist groups so that they can retaliate.
So, in fact, the USA is being hypocritical by saying, and it is doing a bad thing by saying that it will only compensate those, its employers, or those who are working in the embassy.
And yet they were benefiting in Kenyan soil.
Yet, if you look at the situation, we were not attacked because, we were attacked because of the United States of America. It is because of our good relations with America that led to the 1998 embassy attack. Because the people who are attacking the embassy perceived America as their #1 enemy. And it did not only happen in Kenya, it happened in Tanzania. So it means every Kenyan, because if you talk of Kenya, you are talking about people that are in this country. Therefore, the people who are affected because of relations between United States of America and Kenya are the citizens, who of course are supposed to be compensated. Everyone is supposed to be compensated. Everyone who got an injury or family, every family that was affected in any way should be compensated. Yes.
Yeah, that's true. If we continue pale gazeti la Taifa Leo, tukimalizia katika hizi headlines zetu, ni kwamba Sultani Ng'ambo Mombasa wakilia, na kwamba Gavana Hassan Joho amejipata matatani na kuona ukicheka Abubakar kwa kukaa Amerika mwezi mmoja wakati kaunti yake inapokabiliwa na matatizo mengi. Bwana Joho ambaye anatambuliwa kwa jina, acha tuangalie pale katika ukurasa wa pili, ile habari pia inaweza kuendelea. Na kiufupi ni kwamba inasema kwamba wakati Joho yuko kule ng'ambo, Mombasa inaathirika na kama magenge, sijui wakali kwanza. Kuna mambo mengi, kuna mambo ambayo yanaendelea kuzorota katika kaunti ya Mombasa. Je, gavana wetu kuna jambo lolote pengine linaweza kuwa limemkumba, ama pengine yuko kule pia uwezi kujua, pengine yuko kule kwa biashara za kuweza kusaidia kaunti ya Mombasa?
The issue of, you know, it's a bad coincidence. We wouldn't blame him, you know, that when he was in America, it's when the attacks happened in his county. I mean, it's just a bad coincidence. It's like when Uhuru went to watch, I don't know which sports, then something happened in the country. It's, you know, it's just bad luck for him. But now, when he's in the country, how effective is he? You know, that's the question. And the issue of security, you know, it has reached a point that security in Mombasa is not only a county government issue, but a national government issue. So I don't know how much his presence would have changed things there. But, you know, security, by all means, is under the national government. You have not devolved security. So we cannot blame Joho for insecurity in Mombasa. It's the role of the national government. And as I said, you know, yesterday, I think we need an effective regional commissioner in the Coast Province. Nelson Marwa should be taken to that place so that, you know, whatever he was doing at that time to curb these gangs, whatever he was doing to bring security and sanity in the coastal area, it should be brought back, you know, because we cannot have young, you know, 14, 16-year-olds, you know, teenagers killing people.
Even 6-year-olds now, kuna group of, in fact, inaitwa sijui wajukuu wa babu na wajukuu wa nyanya, 6 and below. Yeah,
it's very unfortunate. And, you know, it pains me to know that our security forces cannot be able to deal with 6-year-olds. I mean, it's outrageous. So I think we need an effective regional commissioner at Mombasa. The governor wouldn't do much because the security of it's not devolved. So the national government should play its part. We cannot blame him. The governor, everyone goes abroad, so it's just bad luck for him.
So we leave Joho alone.
Yeah, we leave Joho alone.
I'll also support my friend. I not be simplistic to blame Joho for what happened in Mombasa. Of course, the thing is complex, more than what people want us to see, because Joho, of course, as he has said, the security is under national government. But of course, Joho has a role to play because, of course, he has resources. And most of these things happen because of poverty. Of course, these people and young people are engaging in crime because to make a living. And of course, we have issues of drug abuse. And these issues are the issues that are leading to these things. So as a governor, he should know how to alleviate the lives of his people. He should focus on alleviating lives of his people so that we can avoid these things. And by the way, even national government has a role to play, because even national government has a role to play in development of the coastal region or the Mombasa region. So the buck stops with the national government because it is mandated with security. And to some point, Governor Joho must play his role of developing Mombasa to ensure that these young people engage in beneficial activities. And on the other hand, the even national government has to play its role of developing the Mombasa region, and by that we'll avoid such instances.
Haya, tuanze pale turejee katika gazeti la The Star ukurasa wa pili. Kuna habari pale which is also interesting. Treasury wants census date to be public holiday. Now the National Treasury wants August 26 declared a public holiday to allow Kenyans to participate in the National Housing and Population Census. This comes as Acting Treasury Ukur Yatani confirmed, writing to the Ministry of Education to extend the reopening of schools for the third term by a week. Personally, I think this is a very good move so that we can capture each and every citizen of this country in their homes. What's your take on that?
Yeah, I agree that it's a good move, and it's a good work from Ukur Yatani, from, you know, his ministry. One day public holiday, I also think it's not enough. You should have 2 days, because what if one is not at home during that one day? You know, we have to, the benefit of doubt, the availability. 2 days a national holiday, considering it's something that happens in 10 years, I don't think it will hurt much. So it's a good move. And reopening of schools, I guess they are meant to reopen on 26th, the same Monday that, you know. I mean, those two things cannot work together. So I don't know. We need to agree. You know, these sectors, various sectors of the government, they need to work together, because if you have people setting a census date on the same day that people are reporting to school, it means that there is lack of communication somewhere. It means that, you know, people are not working together in the sense. So there should be communication. It's just a reflection of what is happening. Yeah. So the national holidays, I think it should be 2 days, and also, as Ukur Yatani suggested, then the reopening of schools should be the next week, because you cannot have the two events at the same time.
Yes. If I can come to you with this story. mwenzangu pale, Savo a dumping ground on page 11 of the Star for bodies. We were just talking about extrajudicial killings. Yes. Now the Savo National Park has been cited among the most notorious sites for dumping of bodies of persons killed by unknown people. Many bodies of unknown persons have been found in the section along Mombasa-Nairobi highway. Do you think that maybe pengine sijui serikali yani inafaa kutoa mbinu fulani kuweza kuwalinda wananchi wake zaidi?
Of course the buck stops with the national government. Of course they are the people mandated to provide security to Kenyans, and of course they are voted, and if they fail in their work, of course they lose legitimacy, and you are supposed to have a new government. And you have talked about bodies being dumped. It is very suspicious because, as you have said, different communities have come out crying for crying to protest extrajudicial killings. Some have even accused the government of perpetrating these extrajudicial killings. And when I talk of communities, Muslims have complained. Some people have disappeared without explanations. You remember there was a time young people from Central Kenya during Mongiki menace. Many people were killed, and some people say that they could not even trace their sons, and they are not even aware whether they were involved in Mongiki or not. And by the way, we have rule of law in this country. If you are found guilty, if police realizes you have done something wrong, you are supposed to be arrested, then taken to court. Yes. Of course, for us to know whether you are guilty or you are innocent. So when you find even government is being accused of extrajudicial killings, it is very unfortunate, because it means government has become rogue. And when government becomes rogue, at some point people become impatient, and they protest against government. We have seen in Sudan what happened. People protested against government. We have seen the Arab Spring in some Arab countries in North Africa, what happened, and even in Middle East. So we don't want to reach that point where people will protest and overthrow the government, because of course there will be chaos and there will be confusion. And some of the states that encountered such crisis have not come back to where they were. They are still grappling with the issue of coming to where they were, or becoming stable again. So we must focus on security, because security is very important. And I have mentioned there was a time some young people protested over judicial killings. They were assassinated. They were supposed to hand over a report to UN rapporteur, but they were shot before they handed over a report. It is claimed the report contained names of those people who had been killed through extrajudicial killings.
If I may bring the ball back to you, do you think also the Kenya Wildlife Service, maybe KDF, should also come in, in and protect our people? KWS, because people are dumping bodies in, national parks. Yeah, it's purely a reflection that KWS is failing in its own sense. Not only, there is another story, I think it's also in the nation, talking about, Coast Province have the hippopotamus attacking people during the night. We have seen, yesterday there was a story of buffalo meat being captured, 200 kgs of it. It's a failure on the side of KWS. But now we have stopped talking much about corruption. We are talking about security of the people. Now we are saying the national government has a role, but who is the national government? The Cabinet Secretary for Interior Security is Fred Matiang'i. The person was very effective at education, the Ministry of Education. He was a person who brought very huge changes in the education sector, a person who eliminated or minimized levels of cheating, which was unbelievable. But we should ask ourselves, why is the same not being reflected in the interior, ministry? I think it's an issue of political interference, because it's an issue of political interference which is limiting how effective he is. Because in the last month there was a certain day in which a cabinet meeting, he chaired the cabinet meeting, and the deputy president was not, this was what happened. The president was to be late for the cabinet meeting. The deputy president, it was at the time when he was claiming that there are some CSs who want to assassinate him. So, and
Matiang'i chaired the meeting and such. So the issue of interior security is a political interference,
so
which
there's
is
political interference.
Yeah, there's political interference.
That's why that thought right there. Okay. We'll go on after this short break. Mtazamaji, endelea kutegea runinga yako Horizon TV. You could contribute to this discussion on our social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter and Facebook at Horizontv Kenya. Ama tupate katika tovuti yetu www.horizontvkenya.co.ke. Tunaregea muda usiokuwa mrefu.
Na kwetu wanatambua kama Mariam Mwacharo. You're watching the Sabah Show
on Horizon TV. Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Waswahili wanasema chilea utapata mwana si wako. Kwa majina ni Muhammad Ogura na hii ni Sabah Show
on Horizon TV.
Ahlan wa sahlan wa marhaban. You are watching the Sabah Show. Keep it locked right here on Horizon TV.
Kwa jina nilobarikiwa nalo ni Ibtisam Jamal. Ungana nami katika Sabah Show
on Horizon TV.
Walk with us as we tell you the stories of our society.
Wengine atavaa mtandio kichwani utafikiri ni kijihandkerchief.
Enzi za wakati wa kusema ati alisema akasisitiza akihutubia wanahabari, enzi hizo hazipo tena.
Kuchimbua na kunakili matukio kwa undani.
We want to create current awareness
ranging from adventure, human interest and inspirational stories, ili kuweza kukuelimisha, kukuburudisha na kukubumbuisha. Words have been said, but now it is time to lay the foundation that will impact the world.
Terrorism is terrorism, no matter who is behind the trigger.
Quote of the day. Imam Ahmed bin Hanbal said, "Do not follow me, or Malik, or Shafi'i, or Auza'i, or Thawri, but take from where they took, that is, from the Quran and authentic Sunnah."
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Na kwetu wanatambua kama Mariam Mwacharo. You're watching the Sabah Show
on Horizon TV.
Na mtazamaji, endelea kutegea Horizon TV. Shukran sana kwa kuendelea pia kututizama. Tunaendelea na uchambuzi wa magazeti, ikiwa hiki ni kitengo chetu cha mwisho. Iwapo unajiunga nasi, basi hujachelewa sana. Ipo comment pale imeweza kuingia. Adesh Adiano anasema watching from South Sea. Thank you very much Adesh, endelea kutegea. Na pia if you want to contribute on the discussion, please do so on our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram and Twitter at Horizontv Kenya. Ama pia unifuate pale katika social media handles zangu. Facebook ni Mariam Kasim, Instagram Mariam_K Mwacharo na Twitter Mariam Mwacharo. Uweze kutuma pale comments zako, nitaweza kuziangalia. Moja kwa moja tuendelee jopo letu hapa. Kuna habari pale imeweza kuangaziwa katika gazeti la People Daily, wapo sijakosea, na ukurasa wa 17 kwamba veteran AIDS researcher Mulindi dies of cancer. Na nikiweza kukumbuka jana kuna habari iliweza kuangaziwa katika one of our newspapers kwamba kuna some equipment, cancer equipment that can actually bring very good strides in cancer treatment that have not been used since 1990 something, and now we have veteran researchers dying from cancer. Madaktari lazima wapewe, lessons now. They usually also get training even after school for usage of equipment. Are we failing as a country? Are we just being ignorant, Abubakar?
I think it's an issue of, it's an issue of ignorance. It's ineffective. You know, people are ineffective in their fields of work, because for the cancer equipment that could be, you know, very useful in treating people, and they are claiming they are not qualified staff. I think that's just an excuse, because we have hospitals. We have a KU referral hospital, which was built, a very big hospital, a very nice hospital, but you know, we have all equipment there, you know, top notch kind of hospital, but it has not started running. So we have people, you know, getting into politics, that who should be the director of this hospital. You know, why? I think it's an issue of ineffectiveness that is happening in the government.
So there's a problem in leadership, that they can't decide who to man what, and therefore we just become ignorant and negligent of our own people. Because this is a top researcher, and AIDS is a big deal in the country. It's
managerial issues, but you know, I think now what could be the possible solution? Cancer, we have seen recently many people die of cancer. So, and it's also a global issue. So if such cases continue being that people are dying of cancer too much, you know, and the poor mwananchi cannot afford treatment in India, or such chemotherapy is very expensive, I think we should declare cancer a national disaster. Because, you know, the benefits of declaring something a national disaster is you'll get foreign help, you'll get foreign aid, you'll get grants, you know, to try and curb the disease. So I think if such continues, that people are dying of cancer too much, it should be declared a national disaster.
So that finally people can actually focus on the real issue.
Yeah.
If we head on to the Daily Nation, pale page 8, kuna habari pale, MPs want KDF in Somalia border row, and legislators want soldiers deployed to the disputed location to protect territory. The National Assembly has waded into Kenya-Somalia maritime border row and wants the government to, among other measures, deploy the Kenya Defence Forces to protect the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Kenya. Are you in support of this move?
I am in support. In fact, it is long overdue. They would have done that long time ago. Because if you look at the conflict is suspicious. Because the case was filed in 2014. And of course, it will be decided next month, between September 9 and September 13. We know very well how Somalia is. Even the capacity of pushing this case from 2014 to now is suspicious. We know we have people who are pushing them to do what they are doing. And I'll not mince words. I'll say the Western countries, specifically Britain, is interested in that part, because of course the part is say that it is very rich in oil and gas. And therefore the countries, the multinationals that control the oil industry, are keen on what will happen around that place. And when I talk the multinationals, I'll not even rule out the possibility of the Middle East countries, Arab countries, which still have interest in the oil and gas that is perceived to be in that area. And I'm saying this because you heard what Arab League said. Arab support, they talked about the issue and they supported Somalia. Because they think Kenya is difficult to twist or to manipulate than Somalia. They think if Somalia takes this place, they can, of course, benefit from the oil. And this has precedent, because, of course, the illegal fishing that goes on along Somalia coastline. The countries that are involved are from Western countries. Therefore, we should move swiftly and protect our borders. We must protect our territorial integrity, and we must protect our sovereignty, because we cannot continue playing fool. We cannot just sit and wait for the ICJ decision. The ICJ, this is a court, and you know the president is a Somalia. The president of ICJ is a Somalia. So we cannot rule out bias in the decision that will be made between September 9 and September 13. And we cannot sit pretty now and wait for the decision. We must show them that we are ready to protect our waters, maritime waters. And if they do something mischievous, we will even deploy KDF. And by the way, this thing does not only affect Kenya. It has domino effect. If the border is altered, still we will demand our part from from Tanzania. Then Tanzania will go and demand its part from Mozambique. So we will have conflict between Tanzania and Kenya after if ICJ rules in the favor of Somalia. We'll have conflict because, of course, we'll now have to redraw the maritime border. So we'll have conflict with Tanzania. Tanzania will have conflict with Mozambique. Then it will go up to South Africa. Even South Africa.
If I can also bring the ball to you, yes, I can see you've been itching. Do you think that this cannot be seen as a move that Kenya is trying to sway on its own, you know, accord? Because the matter is on ICJ and should be, you know.
But why did they take it to ICJ?
No.
They had not exhausted. Let me tell you something. They had not exhausted negotiation. We should have first negotiated before going to ICJ. Now we went direct to ICJ because
yes,
and by then Somalia just wake up and went to ICJ because they have interest in what is happening in that area because they know there is oil and gas. And the countries that are in this deal, Arab countries and Western countries. That is the countries that they are financing that case and they are protecting Somalia in this case.
Abu Bakar.
Now, I want to totally differ with whatever he's saying. Now, it's very true what he's saying that, you know, some Western countries go to countries which have oil and such. They do South Sudan, they cause crisis so that they can benefit from it. They are doing so in DRC. But I think this is a different case for Somalia. Because the issue at hand, first, what caused the maritime boundaries conflict? This is the issue. Now, the international law on boundary, clearly it's on Somalia's side that, you know, this disputed territory is on Somalia's side and they are likely to rule in their favor. Now, but for now, after colonization, the boundaries which were set show that it's on Kenya's side. That's why there is an issue of conflict. Because after colonization, you have the boundaries which are on Kenya's side, but you have the international laws which could favor Somalia because according to international boundaries, maritime boundaries, it's on Somalia's side. That's why he's asking why did they not negotiate? Because they knew at all no one will give their land that they claim they have held for years since independence to another country. And the area has oil, it has gas. They knew that they could have an upper hand going to the ICJ because, you know, the international maritime boundaries are on their side. Now, deploying KDF to the border, I think that's a wrong move. Because, now, let me you know, we look, before you...
Why is it a wrong move?
Because you have to judge, because you look at for you to say this is good or it's bad, you look at the effects of it. Now, first, KDF, the first time they went to Somalia, they went to, you know, stabilize and such and such. Look at what occurred from it. Attacks after attacks on Kenyan soil. After we deployed our forces there. Now you want to go and take KDF. First you have the Navy. The Navy are in charge of the water. What are they doing there? If it's so. Now you want to take the KDF to the border to do what? Because now that's an aggressive move. We should let the ICJ decide in its but we have an alternative. Kenya also, you know, tried to make talks with Somalia that you know withdraw this case out of ICJ
and let's settle it together.
Let's settle it with EAC and IGAD. Which is
a
good
of the
move.
minds.
Yeah, which is a good move. But deploying KDF,
let's just say this because
very
of course,
quickly,
I'll say
quickly.
it very briefly. The Arab League said that they are protecting Muslims because of course Somalia is predominantly Islam. But if you look carefully, the place that is in dispute is occupied by Muslims. So you cannot take something from some Muslims and then bequeath to other Muslims. And by the way, let me tell you something. The Western country, if you look even at the case, the Kenya has filed, if you look at even how the case is presented, it tells all. There is someone who is financing. Because, if the case is presented by Canadian authorities or British authorities or even Australian authorities, you can decipher. In this matter, British is involved, and that is why they had even gone to auction oil in the disputed area even before ICJ has decided.
Gentlemen, this issue is not going to be settled.
And ICJ being an external body.
South Korea.
ICJ being an external body. it is subject to external influence.
Let me comment. Just
2 seconds.
Yeah, 2 seconds. Despite external influence, despite who is funding what, justice has to hold. If according to international boundaries it belongs to them, and according to colonial boundaries it belongs to us, you have to decide the matter on a fair basis. Not because, you know, now they are receiving support from Arab League because they are Muslim. No, who cares? Well, Muslims.
2 seconds are over.
We should have justice.
This issue is not going to be settled. Let's finish up, gentlemen. Gazeti la Taifa Leo pale kuna habari page 22. Naibu kocha Imani Tele Bandari itailaza Al Ahli, na kocha mpya wa Gor Mahia kutambulishwa rasmi leo. Kocha mpya wa Gor Mahia Steven Pollak leo anatarajiwa kutambulishwa kwa mashabiki. Tukiangalia katika timu zetu baada ya Hassan Oktay kuweza kujiuzulu, na unajua pia kuna makocha wengi ambao wameweza kuja katika, you know, in our Kenyan teams, and they leave after a season, after a year. Do you think labda it is time now to invest in our own local coaches?
Yeah, I think it's time we invest in our local coaches, but you have to, you know, swallow the bitter pill that Kenyan football is at low standards. So I think if you want good
low
coaches,
standard kivipi? Manake kuna you know, William Luya pale local coach wa Kariobangi Sharks ameweza kuisaidia sana timu. Bernard Mwalala pale wa Bandari FC. How do you say that our football is still low?
No, I mean the standards of it, because on African level there it's low. But the idea of coaches, first, these people, they face poor pays, late pays, not only for the club coaches, the national team coaches, and they have, you know, poor working conditions and such. There is political influence into the clubs. So if, you know, especially Gor Mahia and FC Leopards, they are so keen on, you know, hiring foreigners on this, but they never seem to keep them. One season, one goes, and you know, and they like. So
but even Medo Melis aliweza kutoka.
Yeah, for Gor Mahia, okay, for Gor Mahia, they want to announce a new coach today. He's of course a foreigner. What they should think of is take a young Kenyan player or a Kenyan coach and take him for training abroad. I think that's the alternative that they have, because yes, you're announcing a new coach today. After one season, a time like this next year, they'll still be announcing another coach. So they should have a Kenyan coach, a good Kenyan coach, taken abroad for training. Because what happens in football, a person like Cristiano Ronaldo, he dropped his academic studies at 14 years old, and he joined, you know, football academy, and that's where he grew his talent. And so each and every football player abroad, the person starts going to.
But you know, even Francis Kimanzi is one of the best football coaches in Kenya. What's your take on that side?
It's rare. If you look at the AFCON,
it's rare.
The team that reached finals and the team that won, they all have local coaches. Senegal had a local coach, and Algeria had a local.
Listen, in France, their whole time they lived in France. They went to football academy.
Listen before I finish.
Okay, gentlemen.
Listen before I finish.
Yes.
So what I'm saying, if we invest in our people, and I agree with him, if we train coaches, of course, maybe outside, and then bring them here, they are reliable. And by the way, if you look at these foreign coaches, we pay them very highly. Yet they don't produce results. We cannot do the same things over and over again and expect different results. So we must change our tact. There's something wrong somewhere. Maybe it is lack of patriotism. Maybe it is lack of enthusiasm.
You're very passionate about this, please. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for contributing katika uchambuzi wetu wa magazeti. Mtazamaji, producer wangu huyo nipeleka mbio kweli, samahani. Inshallah tutaweza kuendelea siku nyingine, lakini mtazamaji, tunachukua mapumziko mafupi. Tutakaporejea tutaanza kipindi Stay Healthy. Shukran sana kwa kuweza kujiunga nasi katika hivi vitengo vya kwanza vitatu vya kipindi Sabah Show. Tutakuwa tunazungumzia magonjwa ya umio wa hewa ama respiratory diseases. Usiondoke.
Na kwetu wanatambua kama Mariam Wacharo. You're watching the Sabah Show
on Horizon TV. Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Waswahili wanasema chilea utapata mwana si wako. Kwa majina ni Muhammad Ogura na hii ni Sabah Show
on Horizon TV.
Ahlan wa sahlan wa marhaban. You are watching the Sabah Show. Keep it locked right here on Horizon TV.
Kwa jina nilobarikiwa nalo ni Ibtisam Jamal. Ungana nami katika Sabah Show
on Horizon TV.
Walk with us as we tell you the stories of our society.
Wengine atavaa mtandio kichwani utafikiri ni kijihandkerchief.
Enzi za wakati wa kusema ati alisema akasisitiza akihutubia wanahabari, enzi hizo hazipo tena.
Kwa kuchimbua na kunakili matukio kwa undani.
We want to create current awareness
Ranging from adventure, human interest and inspirational stories. Ili kuweza kukuelimisha, kukuburudisha na kukubumbuisha. Words have been said, but now it is time to lay the foundation that will impact the world.
Terrorism is terrorism, no matter who is behind the trigger.
Quote of the day. Imam Ahmed bin Hanbal said, "Do not follow me, or Malik, or Shafi'i, or Auza'i, or Thawri, but take from where they took, that is, from the Quran and authentic Sunnah."
On the next episode,
kumwambia mwenzako nyamaza na wewe ushasema pia.
Ushasema.
Ukimwambia wewe nyamaza bwana, watu hutuba endelea na wewe utakuwa ushasema. Tumesema faman lagha wa man lagha fala jum'ata lahu. Mwenye kuleta upuzi wa maneno jambo lote hakuna Ijumaa. Kwa hivyo mtu ameingia takanyamaza kimya asikize hutuba hata kama lugha haielewi, akete sikilize. Ndio wasio mtume kwamba ansitu wastami'u la'allakum turhamun. Msikilize ile hutuba mtarehemewa na Mwenyezi Mungu.
Kuna wale ambao itikadi zao kwamba Lailatul Qadr ni tarehe 27 basi. Wanasahau kwamba Mtume sallallahu alaihi wasallam anasema ikiwa unahitaji kupata fadhila huo usiku, chagua katika zile autar, katika idadi za witri, kwa sababu wengi katika maulama wanasema ule usiku hauitu usiku mmoja, bali nenda ikipishana. Huenda mwakani ikaanguka tarehe 21 usiku wake, mwaka ujao utaanguka tarehe 23. Kwa hivyo Lailatul Qadr inaenda ikipishana.
Are you finding difficulty to find us on Azam decoders? Rescan your Azam decoders and find us on channel 008. Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
On the next episode.
Kwa hivyo Sheikh Abdullah Al-Fars anasema akiisheresha hii aya ya Nabii Nuh alayhi salam, innahu laysa min ahlik, asema basi watu wasideke bure bure. Kuringa, naam, tayib, wasiringe bure bure kusema wao wanatokana na hawa na hao. Kimfaacho mtu ni amali zake, sio nasaba yake. Amali ndio muhimu. Waliokuwa wabora na watu wao ambao walikuwa ni waovu, na Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala akakata kizazi kile na akasema kwamba sio miongoni mwao.
Imagine you are walking in the street. You see a homeless man curled up on the floor. It seems like he really needs money, so you want to help him. You pull out a £10 note from your pocket and hand it to him. The man takes the money from you, but instead of saying thank you, he does something else. He curses you. How would you react? As well as feeling shocked, most of us would naturally be upset. In fact, many of us would feel angry that the man spoke so rudely when he should have been grateful. And a lot of us would find it difficult not to say or do something negative back. Let's see how someone reacted in a similar true story, except the true story was even more intense. The man was not just a random stranger on the street, he was a cousin of Abu Bakr radiallahu anh. And Abu Bakr did not just give a one-off donation, he regularly gave charity to his cousin and helped him. And the cousin did not say bad words about Abu Bakr radiallahu anh. No, his cousin did something even worse. He slandered Abu Bakr's beloved daughter Aisha radiallahu anha, saying that she had committed adultery. As a result, the entire city was buzzing with the rumor, even though Aisha radiallahu anha was innocent. And when she found out what people were saying about her, she cried continuously day and night until she thought her liver would burst from crying so much. Imagine how Abu Bakr radiallahu anh felt in this situation. Imagine hearing that the entire city is questioning your daughter's honor, and you see that her marriage is now on the verge of collapse, and she is in your house not sleeping, not eating, and just crying non-stop. And then her innocence is revealed in the Quran. You find out it was all a lie, and you find out that your cousin, whom you gave so much money to, is the one who actively spread this lie. Your cousin stabbed you in the back and helped to create this devastation. How would you react now? Well, Abu Bakr's first reaction was that he vowed never to spend on his cousin again. Naturally, he was upset. However, Allah wanted a higher standard. So a verse was revealed in the Quran. It said, "And let not those among you who are blessed with graces and wealth swear not to give to their relatives, the poor, and those who left their homes for Allah's cause. Let them pardon and forgive. Do you not love that Allah should forgive you? And Allah is the most forgiving, the most merciful." When Abu Bakr radiallahu anh heard this, he immediately said, "By Allah, I would love that Allah forgives me." And he vowed that he would never stop spending on his cousin. This one verse caused Abu Bakr radiallahu anh to have a complete transformation. Nothing changed in the outside world. The damage was still there. All that changed was his mindset. He chose to forgive for the sake of Allah. There may be situations when you also feel upset with other people. It's natural to feel hurt at times, especially when someone has wronged you. However, holding the negativity will only consume you and ruin your happiness. As the saying goes, holding on to anger is like drinking poison and waiting for the other person to die. Carrying the bitterness will only destroy your dunya and your akhirah. But you can choose to free yourself from the pain, because all it really comes down to is a decision in your mind to forgive. After all, do you not love that Allah should forgive you?
Children.
usiku mzima nilikuwa nakufikiria wewe Saidina Abubakar, njoo nikupige makao, njoo nikukumbatie. Saidina Abubakar Omar akamkumbatia Saidina Abubakar. Mapenzi kati ya masahaba yalikuwa kweli, watu wanapendana.
زمن جميل كان فيه سمونا كانت به أمجادنا تتوالى.
On the next episode, quote of the day. Ali Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Na kwetu wanatambua kama Mariam Wacharo. You're watching the Sabah Show
On Horizon TV.
Na mtazamaji, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Kwa mara nyingine tena, thank you very much for staying tuned to Horizon TV, the premier Islamic TV station. Now we are shifting gears to matters health, na kama kawaida unajua leo siku ya Alhamisi tunaangazia afya yako, na nilivyotangulia kusema hapo awali tutakuwa tunaangazia magonjwa ya umio wa hewa. Now if I may just take your attention for one moment, we know that the cold season is supposed to have ended, but we're still experiencing cold weather patterns thanks to, environmental changes in the weather patterns that have changed in the country. Na tunajua kwamba wengi wetu watu tunaathirika na magonjwa kama vile pumu, sinuses na magonjwa mengine ya kifua. Now, did you know that in the world, according to WHO, 235 million people suffer from asthma, which is not only a problem in high income countries anymore, but middle and low income countries, with a death score of 80%. 80% of people who suffer asthma actually do die. WHO says asthma is underdiagnosed and undertreated, creating a substantial burden to individuals and families and possibly restricting individuals' activities for a lifetime. Now with me in the studio today to discuss this issue is Dr. Salim Masood, ambaye ni pulmonologist na vile vile senior nursing officer Madam Diana Mbwaya, ili tuweze kuangazia swala hili la magonjwa ya umio wa hewa ama respiratory diseases. Karibuni sana madaktari wangu katika kipindi chetu. Dr. Salim, if I may start with you. What are the common respiratory diseases that people actually get?
Okay, the commonest respiratory diseases, which the WHO calls them the big five. There are usually 5 major diseases that occur very commonly. And these infections, like pneumonia, TB, those are 2. The others are obstructive lung disease, chronic obstructive lung disease. Like you mentioned, asthma is one of them. And then another one called COPD. And lastly, as we know, there's also like an epidemic of cancer. So lung cancer is also in the top 5 of the commonest respiratory diseases. These are global trends, these are global figures, but I think in our country also are the same problems, the top 5. But however, respiratory diseases in terms of frequency also depends on the population. On what you call the population means the patient population. So what is so common in the younger population, the pediatrics, may not be the same as in the older population, the geriatrics, or the people who are in between, the middle ages. And the other group of population, special population, are people who have problems with immunity. So people who have reduced immunity, so the frequency of diseases in them may be different from those who have good immunity. So the distribution of diseases depends on the population. But in generally, the top 5 are the ones I mentioned. So pneumonia, TB, asthma, COPD, and lung cancer.
And what is pengine ukituelezea COPD ni nini?
COPD is an obstructive lung disease, chronic obstructing lung disease. There are few diseases in this category. So you have a group of diseases. I mean, if you look at the lung has so many components. So one of the components of the lung is the airways, the tubes that conduct air or take air to the area where gas exchange take place. And the diseases that affect mostly the tubes and they cause obstruction, those we call chronic obstructive disease. So they cause narrowing of the airways. So you have a problem getting air inside your lungs and getting air outside your lungs. For mostly it's difficult getting air out of the lung. And COPD is one of those diseases that affect the airways. And it's like asthma is also an obstructive lung disease.
Okay.
And yeah, so they differ a bit, but they have a lot of in common. Yeah.
Na daktari ameweza kutuambia kwamba magonjwa ya umeo wa hewa ama respiratory diseases, yani ya kifua pengine kwa maneno mengine, pia huathiri zaidi mtu ambaye immunity yake iko chini. So hawa ni kama patients wa HIV, maybe cancer na wengine ambao wana magonjwa mengine. Pengine nikija kwako our senior officer Miss Diana Mbwaya. You have worked in KNH for so long. Some of these respiratory diseases ambazo zimekuwa ziki-occur very commonly in your career ni kama zipi?
Like my area of operation has been in children. I've been working with children for quite a time, and you'll find most children, they come with just what we call common cold, which is normally known as flu. Some people call it flu, some they call it common cold. But those ones are mild cases which are just treated and then the child can go home on medication. Others are like pneumonia. Others come with the tonsillitis. Some come with the otitis media. And commonly these diseases, like otitis media, will come as a result of maybe other infections which will affect the ears because of the relationship of the anatomy and physiology relationship. Yeah, so commonly in children, pneumonia is very common and it really kills children if not treated in time. Yeah.
Pengine nikiweza kuchukua tu some comments from my Facebook page pale, kuna mmoja anaitwa Zahra Baza, anategea kutoka India, anasema very good. I would like to ask so many questions about respiratory infections. Thank you for this show. Karibu sana Zahra, endelea kutegea. Good Eunice anasema iko poa, nina swali. Okay, nitakuja katika hilo swali lake. Abdul Daud ametupatia thumbs up, shukran. Na Ansari Zainab pia anatuangalia, anaendelea kutegea. Endelea kutegea mtazamaji. Kumbuka unaweza kutupata katika social media platforms zetu, Facebook, Instagram and Twitter at Horizontv Kenya. Na vile vile iwapo unataka kuzungumza nami moja kwa moja, Facebook pale ni Mariam Kasim, Twitter Mariam Mwacharo na Instagram Mariam_K Mwacharo. Nikija kwako daktari, kuna hili swali huyu bwana ameweza kuuliza, anasema mtoto amezaliwa na ana shida ya kupumua. Je, itakuwa kuna tatizo gani?
Matatizo za kuwa mingi sana. So I mean, kuna sababu nyingi zinafanya mtu ashindwe kupumua. Especially mtoto ashindwe kupumua. Kama ndio mwanzo amezaliwa, kuna shida kwamba labda kuna uchafu umeingia katika njia zake za hewa. Labda amejikunyia wakati wa zile dharubu za kuzaa. Labda kuna nywele ambazo zilikuwa katika maji au nyumba ya uzazi. Labda kuna clot zimeingia katika njia zake za hewa. Labda mtoto mwenyewe mapafu yake hajakuwa kulingana, hajakuwa vile inavyotakana. Labda kuna vitu fulani ambazo hazijakuwa kulingana na vile takana. Labda hajadevelop vizuri, mapafu yake hajaendelea vizuri. Kuna maradhi mengine pia yanaitwa congenital. Mtu amezaliwa bila pafu moja, mtu amezaliwa bila hiki, mtu amezaliwa bila kile. Lazima ifanye utafiti angaliwe ni kwa nini mtoto hapumui. Labda pia kulingana, labda anaweza kuwa amepata infection wakati akiwa ndani ya tumbo la mama, amepata infection na imekuwa wakati imeonekana wakati akizaliwa. So ni muhimu especially wakati mtoto akizaliwa kuweko na daktari maalum wa mtoto ambaye ataka kumpokea yule mtoto, mpokeaji, sio gynecologist peke yake kuzalisha mtoto, kuzalisha mama, lakini akukue pia na daktari, preferably kama tapata specialist neonatologist ambaye ni specialist wa watoto ambao umri wa kutoka umri wa 0 mpaka labda siku 28 na kadhalika, aweze kumwangalia na hakikisha kwamba kila kitu chake iko sawa.
Pengine nikija kwako Madam Nas, Madam Diana, respiratory diseases ziko zile ambazo ziko hereditary, inatoka labda kwa mama kwenda kwa mtoto, ama pengine genetically acquired?
There are quite a few, not many. Just like the doctor said, asthma can be inherited. It can be passed on in families, even from a grandparent to
a grandchild.
Yes, yeah, along that lineage. We also have asthma. We also have, which one, doctor? Remind me.
Now hereditary, inategemea vile unavyo there are different kinds of hereditary diseases. One of them, or the connection between genetics and diseases, you can look at it in many ways. One of them is if there's a genetic problem. So you know there are genes in the body. You have chromosome, 23 chromosome, and these have genes. So you may have an abnormal gene which will produce an abnormal protein and eventually produce an abnormality in the function of the lungs or any other system in the body. Now, there are few diseases which affect the lungs. One of them is called cystic fibrosis, which is not very common in our environment. It's more common in the white population and in Europe. The other example is what we call anti-alpha-1 antitrypsin deficiency, which is also not very common in our environment. It's more common outside in the Caucasian population. So these are essentially genetic diseases. There's a gene which has been identified to be abnormal, and if you get this gene, then you are eventually going to get the disease. And the other ones, there are no genes. Actually, majority of diseases, not just respiratory diseases, including hypertension, including diabetes, including epilepsy, including what, they have a genetic component, but this genetic component is not well defined. It's people see what you call clustering of these diseases in particular family or in particular ethnic group, and that's why we think there's a genetic component in it. So, but there's no particular gene. If you do gene analysis, you'll not be able to pick one particular gene which will be responsible for these diseases. But you'll see these diseases clustering in a particular population, in a particular family. So we believe there's some genetic or hereditary disease. So if you're born into that family, then you're likely to get that disease. But again, if there's the genetic disease I mentioned earlier, they have what you call Mendelian pattern. You know, the Mendelian pattern is dominant recessive pattern. So if you have the cystic fibrosis gene, then you're likely to get it through Mendelian inheritance pattern. If you have anti-alpha-1 antitrypsin disease, then also that can go through that pattern.
Kwa hiyo tunajua kwamba kuna magonjwa mengine ya umio ya hewa ambayo pia yanaweza kupatikana kutoka pengine katika familia, na ni clusters kama vile daktari ameweza kusema, pengine kama familia hiyo kuna cases nyingi za gonjwa fulani, basi bila shaka pengine kuna uwezekano kwamba utakuwa nao, sio kwamba eti mama akiwa na pumu basi we bila shaka pumu utakuwa nayo, la si hivyo. Pengine kabla hatujachukua pumziko baada ya dakika chache, daktari, nikikuuliza ni mambo gani ambayo huweza kusababisha mtu kupata hizi infections?
Infections, mambo inategemea. You can look at it in many ways. You can look at it in public health perspective or in individual perspective. So public health, kuna mambo mingi mtu ambaye zamfanya kulingana na environment vile watu wanavyo interact one another, watu kutema mate hapa na pale kama kawaida ya ndugu zetu wengine. Mtu anayetema mate zaidi ni mtu ambaye ana shida za mapafu za kikohozi, labda akona TB, labda akona flu. So kila time anataka kukohoa na wanatema mate kila mahali. Wengine hata waangalie mahali gani ya kutema mate. Wanatema kwenye ukuta, wanatema kwenye lift, wanatema kwenye milango za watu. Hii inahatarisha maisha ya kila mtu ambaye anaishi katika ile environment. So this is in a public health perspective. Na inafaa watu angalie mambo kama haya. Na upande mwingine ni kwamba kwa mfano kuna magonjwa ambayo yanajulikana ni kwamba they are transmitted diseases and have to be reported to the government. Kuna magonjwa contagious kama TB na kama magonjwa mengine. So the government or the public health officials take measures. They have to identify these people, they have to monitor them and keep them under control so they don't transmit these diseases to other people. As an individual, one thing you can do ni kwamba because magonjwa mingi ya kifua yanatokana na droplets za watu ambazo labda kuna magonjwa kama haya. So mtu ambaye yuko karibu na wewe, unazungumza naye, mbele yako kuna matemate kidogo, drops zinatoka, zinakupiga uso, zinaingia katika uso kwenye mdomo. Mtu akisneeze mbele yako, akikohoa, akicheka, zote hizi kuna dose ya mate au secretions ambazo mtu anakuflash nazo kwenye uso. Na hizi ni vitu ambazo zinatokea kila siku. This is our daily
with those ones. Hizo ndio some of the preventive measures ambazo pia nitaweza kukuuliza. Lakini tutakaporejea tutaweza kuendelea kuangalia what other things maybe in the environment cause respiratory diseases. Na pia mtazamaji, kuna swali hapa limeweza kuulizwa. Kuna mtu anauliza ambalo tutaweza kujibiwa baada ya hili pumziko, ni kwamba kuna wale sisi Waislamu, kuna wale wale wanaotusomea Qur'an, qari. Wakisoma Qur'an kuna wale wenye wana hold breath for so long, ama anasoma sura kama aya 4 ama 5, 6, 7 na breath moja. Je, ile inadhuru umio lake la umio wa hewa inadhuru? Tutaweza kujua hapo tutakaporejea baada hili pumziko fupi. Mtazamaji, endelea kutegea, usibonyeze kidude.
Na kwetu wanatambua kama Mariam Wacharo. You're watching the Sabah Show
on Horizon TV. Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Waswahili wanasema chilea utapata mwana si wako. Kwa majina ni Muhammad Ukura na hii ni Sabah Show
on Horizon TV.
Ahlan wa sahlan wa marhaban. You are watching the Sabah Show. Keep it locked right here on Horizon TV.
Kwa jina nilobarikiwa nalo ni Ibtisam Jamal. Ungana nami katika Sabah Show
on Horizon TV.
Walk with us as we tell you the stories of our society.
Wengine atavaa mtandio kichwani, utafikiri ni kijihandkerchief.
Enzi za wakati wa kusema ati alisema, akasisitiza, akihutubia wanahabari, enzi hizo hazipo tena.
Kuchimbua na kunakili matukio kwa undani.
We want to create current awareness,
ranging from adventure, human interest and inspirational stories, ili kuweza kukuelimisha, kukuburudisha na kukubumbuisha. Words have been said, but now it is time to lay the foundation that will impact the world.
Terrorism is terrorism. So who is behind the trigger?
On the next episode,
Wajib is compulsory thing, where if you don't do it, you get the sin. Sunnah is supererogatory, where if you do it, you get the thawab, but if you don't do it, you don't get the sins. And you are ready to abstain from the haram, which if you do it, you get the sins. And you also abstain from makruh, which is not liked, which if you do it, you don't get the sin, but if you abstain because of observing the rules of Allah, you get thawabs. So when you say, Ihdina as-sirata al-mustaqim, you want to be among this group.
كتاب الله دستوري.
Quote of the day. Ali bin Abi Talib radiyallahu anhu said, "Never make a decision in anger, and never make a promise in happiness."
Ahlan wa sahlan wa marhaban. You are watching the Sabah Show. Keep it locked right here on Horizon TV.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Na mtazamaji, shukran sana kwa kuendelea kutegea the premier Islamic TV station Horizon TV, ambapo tunakupeperushia vipindi vyetu moja kwa moja kutoka katikati mwa jiji la Nairobi, jumba la Jamia Mosque kama msikiti wa Jamia. Nikiendelea tu na topiki yetu leo ya magonjwa ya umio wa hewa ama respiratory diseases, kuna comments hapa zimeweza kuingia pale YouTube. Nikiangalia kuna mmoja anasema, watching health show, thanks Mariam Wacharo, just to inquire why does asthma affect me when I visit the coastal areas mostly. Tutaweza kulijibu swali lako pale Hemed. Na mwingine anasema, Divina J Maria watching from the office, enjoy the show, Dr. Salim is great, I know. Thank you very much Divina, endelea kutegea. Na Saida anasema, assalamu alaikum, great show there on health matters, thank you. What is the connection between sinus, tonsillitis and adenoids? Can improper treatment of adenoids cause deafness? Okay, we'll be getting back to that question kwa madaktari, lakini kama nilivyoweza kukuahidi mtazamaji, kuna lile swali ambalo nimeweza kuliuliza litaweza kujibiwa hivi karibuni. Miss Diana, nikikuuliza what are other causes that, what are other things that actually cause someone to get a respiratory disease or infection?
Okay, kawaida respiratory diseases can be caused by just influenza viruses. Can cause respiratory infections, especially the upper respiratory infections, like common cold, things like that, sinuses, rhinitis. So normally even extreme exposure to cold can also cause respiratory infections.
So what do you do, like when kama kuna baridi kipindi cha kipupwe kama hivi sasa, baridi kali, unafanya nini ndio uweze kujikinga?
Sasa sana sana kwa watoto, you have to keep the children warm. Keep the children warm. Give them enough warm fluids in plenty. Also the environment ventilation is very important. Yeah, because some of these conditions, in overcrowding spaces, those microorganisms, they accumulate. As Dr. said, droplet. If you have people who are coughing, who are sneezing, it is very easy for other people to be infected. Yeah, so there are quite a number of causes, but mostly influenza viruses.
Mtazamaji hapo Nasa ametuambia kwamba magonjwa haya ya umio wa hewa mara nyingi yanaweza kukupata kwa sababu ya virusi ambavyo ni vya influenza. Na daktari pia, kabla hatujachukua lile pumziko pale mara kwanza, ameweza kusema kuna wale wanaotema mate ovyo kila mahali, tuka hao watu wanaweza pia kukuathiri wewe ambaye uko kwenye environment ya hao watu. Kuchemua ovyo, mtu anapozungumza, wenyewe tunasema kunyesha. Mtu akinyesha on your face, basi pia unaweza kupata vile virusi ambavyo vinaweza kusababisha magonjwa ya umio wako. Daktari, nikija kukuuliza kwako, wale karea ambao kabla sijachukua mapumziko niweza kukuuliza, kama vile pare mzuri Abdul Basit, yeye huweza kusoma sura, hususan katika juzu amma, anasoma sura katika one breath. Can it affect his respiratory function?
Yes. Now breath holding, there are some professions ambayo the breath holding is involved. So kuna watu ambao wana either profession or sports or some of the activities they do every day which requires breath holding. For people like Qari, unanasoma Quran, or even singers, we know some singers can give a very long note without stopping. And then these people, they either hold breath, they either hold a breath because, number one, they train to hold the breath. So they either do this every day over a long period of time, so they require the skills of holding the breath. And even the body, maybe there's some adaptation to the breath holding. But most importantly also, they may not be holding breath as much as we think they're holding the breath. Okay. They might be, you know, even when they sing, sometimes you look at them, somebody will give you a long note, but in between will take a small short break which you may not notice to catch a breath and then continue with the note where they left. And even the Qari, if you look at them, when they read also they do the same. So in between that long note, utasikia maybe that they take a short break, catch a breath and then continue. But there's another group of professionals where they don't have this kind of advantage of taking a breath, and these are free divers. Yes. So what we call free divers, people who dive for a long period without support, without mask or oxygen. Yes. And there have been attempts to break record, how long can somebody free dive without coming, and people have managed to do this for a very long period of time. I don't know who is holding the record right now. But also this requires technique, this requires a training. Not anybody or everybody can hold breath that long. So these people have gone through training. They train this progressively, one day at a time. They add 1 minute, 2 minutes until they achieve their target.
So haiathiri umio wa hewa, haiathiri?
It does.
As long as unachukua training.
Yeah. If you do it yourself, for example, if you attempt to do it yourself without training, then the effects will be much compared to people who have trained. So if you hold breath, the effects are many, and those effects they affect the lung, the effects that affect the heart, and even there are some effects affecting the brain. Okay. And people die from breath holding. So I mean, you are denying yourself oxygen, you are retaining carbon dioxide in your body, which can cause problems in your heart, in your lungs, and in your brain. And if you're not adapted, if you're not trained to adapt to these significant changes, then it will cause problems. So it can lead to heart problems, leading to heart attack, the heart to stop beating. It can lead to stroke, it can cause bleeding in the brain, and it can also cause problems in the lungs. It can make your lung collapse. It can also make fluid accumulate in the lung for holding the breath. So it requires training. So those people who, for example, they carry, is a matter of training. So they did this over a long period of time. Not anybody can do it.
Yeah. Kwa hiyo kama pengine wewe pia unanuia kuwa kari wa Quran ama pengine free diver rather, please take training ndio usiweze kuathirika kuweza kuzuia hewa katika umio wako wa hewa. Pengine daktari, nikiweza kumwagiza my producer pale Muhammad Shakombo akituweza kutupatia picha ya the respiratory system. Muhammad Shakombo, hiyo picha yetu ipo, tuweze kuelezewa vipi mtu akivuta hewa na atakapotoa hewa oxygen na carbon dioxide inakuwa exchanged vipi. Naomba unieleze ndio hivyo hapo. Daktari, hebu tuelezee.
Okay, this is a very busy picture. But so I don't know exactly what I'm supposed to explain, but
the breathing in and breathing out process.
Breathing in is okay. It requires breathing in is a result of what we call negative pressure. You know, there is what we call positive pressure. For example, ukipump hewa katika mpira au katika tire, you are pushing pressure. And then there's what we call negative pressure. If something is sucking, for example, vacuum ya nyumbani vile tunavosafisha nyumbani. So that negative pressure. So breathing in is a result of negative pressure in the lung. So we create negative pressure in the lung by increasing the volume. Tuna expand chest zetu. When we expand our chest, this increases negative pressure in the lung. And inafanya hewa inaingia katika mapafu. Na hewa inaenda all the way mpaka to a certain level. We cannot push the air all the way to the alveoli, mahala ambapo oxygen and carbon dioxide or gas exchanges take place. So the pushing of air, because if you look at the anatomy of the lung, hapa kuna njia ya hewa inaitwa trachea, keeps on dividing. So whatever, at every division there's another division, there's another division, there's another division. So keeps on branching, branching and branching. It keeps branching like 32 times. So you cannot push air all the way to the end. So this air goes all the way to a certain level, and then from there is what you call diffusion takes place. So you have oxygen and carbon dioxide diffusing through the tubes all the way to the alveoli. So this how gas exchange takes place. At the alveolar, you also look at the difference. So it's a matter of looking at the difference between, I think you know, diffusion, osmosis, this kind of things. So when you go to the alveolar, there's diffusion of gas between the blood, which is outside the alveolar, and gas, which is inside the alveoli. So it's basically diffusion. So oxygen goes in because there's less oxygen in the blood compared to the alveolar. So it diffuses in. And carbon dioxide diffuses out because there's more carbon dioxide in the blood compared to the alveolar. So it diffuses out. And then this diffusion takes place all the way coming up until the place where there's flow of air in and out.
Okay. Sawa sawa. Pengine tukianza kujibu na haya maswali yetu kabla tujaingia. Anasema kwa nini mimi ninaathirika sana nikienda coast na asthma? Madam, if you may take up that question. Why does asthma affect me when I visit the coastal areas mostly?
Okay. Asthma is just a condition. It's not a disease.
Okay.
So, and normally it's an allergic condition. So depending, as Dr. had explained about antigens and whatever, depending what the person is reacting to. Because there is one, like coast region, I think the climate there is hot, humid.
Yes.
Yeah. So probably he reacts to
humidity.
That humidity. That's why he gets asthma. There are others, if it's a cold climate, you will get asthma. So it depends the environment where you are. Yes.
Daktari, pengine nikikuuliza extreme weather patterns. Say we are experiencing, you know, global warming. We have different weather patterns being experienced now. Sometimes we have very extreme cold conditions. In some situations here in the country, kama mahali kama Eldoret, tuna mvua za mawe, barafu. Do these extreme weather patterns actually cause for these conditions to be adverse?
Not really adverse, but maybe increase in frequency. So like allergic conditions, like the way she mentioned, asthma, allergic rhinitis. Some people may be sensitive to the cold conditions, and we might have more frequent some of these conditions compared to warmer conditions. And then there are more infections during cold conditions, especially viruses. We get more viral infections during cold conditions. So it's not they are more advanced diseases, but they are more frequent. And if you have more frequent diseases, I mean more people suffering from diseases, then you are likely to get some of these people to be more severe compared to the others.
Okay.
If you have less people suffering from these conditions, then you are likely to get people with severe diseases. So it's a matter of the crowd is bigger. So among this crowd, you get people who will have serious disease. And if the crowd is bigger, then the number is bigger for the serious diseases, compare when the crowd is smaller.
Very quickly before we take a short break, let me read this comment before I give you that question. Kuna msichana, I think anaitwa Suheila Mwangi. Good morning to you, Suheila. Enjoying the show as always at Mariam Mwacharo and the panel. Thank you very much. Itakuwa vipi wengine hupata homa kwa haraka, and when they do it takes a while for it to go down. Haya, shukran sana Suheila, tutaweza kulijibu swali lako. What are some of the things that cause someone to get asthma, daktari?
That's a very difficult. There are many hypotheses, basically. Yeah, so there are many hypotheses. Number one, familial predisposition. Like we said, it runs in the family.
Yes, genetics.
So, genetics and environment. So there are hypotheses like we call the hygiene hypothesis. We said if you have been exposed to a not very clean environment, then you are less likely to get asthma or allergic conditions compared to people who have lived in clean environments. So people who have been in countries which are well developed, they tend to have more asthma compared to people who live in less developed countries.
Really?
Because of what we call hygiene hypothesis. So if you are exposed to more dirty environment, your immune system is stronger. It's been exposed to more allergens, so it develops early when as a child, and then you get a stronger immunity as you grow, and you're less likely to get some of these allergic conditions. But if you're not exposed, if you live in an environment which is very clean, and then your immune system is not exposed at an early age, and you tend to get more allergic conditions in future. So, and basically, asthma has both, it's basically hypothesis. There's no specific cause to say, okay, if you keep out with virus, you'll get asthma. If you suffer from this bacteria, you get asthma. If you eat mercury in sugar,
you get asthma. It is hypothetical.
Yes. So there's no specific whatever is cause.
Okay. Wacha tuchukue mapumziko mafupi, mtazamaji. Endelea kuweza kuchangia katika social media platforms zetu. Pale katika Facebook napatikana pale @Mariam Kasim, na vile social media platforms zetu ni Horizontv Kenya, Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. Tutaregea muda usiokuwa mrefu, usiondoke.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Walk with us as we tell you the stories of our society.
Wengine atavaa mtandio kichwani, utafikiri ni kijihandkerchief.
Enzi za wakati wa kusema ati alisema, akasisitiza, akihutubia wanahabari, enzi hizo hazipo tena.
Kwa kuchimbua na kunakili matukio kwa undani.
We want to create current awareness,
ranging from adventure, human interest and inspirational stories,
ili kuweza kukuelimisha, kukuburudisha na kukubumbuisha.
Words have been said, but now it is time to lay the foundation that will impact the world.
Terrorism is terrorism, no matter who is behind the trigger.
On the next episode,
Omar vile miswali fajr, akimwona Abubakar anamwambia, jana mimi usiku sikulala vizuri. Usiku mzima nilikuwa nakufikiria wewe Saidina Abubakar. Njoo nikupige makama. Njoo nikukumbatie. Saidina Abubakar Omar akamkumbatia Saidina Abubakar. Mapenzi kati ya masahaba yalikuwa kweli, watu wanapendana.
زمن جميل كان فيه سمونا كانت به أمجادنا تتوالى
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Na mtazamaji, shukran sana kwa kuendelea kutegea. Bila shaka unatizama kipindi Stay Healthy, nami wako Mariam Mwacharo, ikiwa leo ni Healthy Thursdays. Tunaangazia magonjwa ya kifua ama umio wa hewa ama respiratory diseases, na kuna maswali mengi yameweza kuingia. If I may start with our senior nurse pale, Miss Diana Mbwaya. Kuna mtu ameuliza, what is the connection between sinus, tonsillitis and adenoids?
Okay, sinuses, they are just openings in the nostrils. And when you look at the anatomy, of the upper respiratory tract. These are things which are connected. The sinuses, you go to the pharynx, you go to the tonsillitis, so they are more or less related. They are just close to one another. So the sinuses, they are normally four, left and right in the nostrils. So when you normally get an infection, it's very easy for the infection to descend to the adenoids, to the tonsillitis, to the tonsils, because normally the tonsils, the adenoids, they are lymph nodes, which normally help in the immune system. They produce chemicals which help in the immune system. So when the immune system goes down, you know, the body is supposed to fight itself when an infection gets into the body. So when they are infected, sometimes it's not able to fight the infections themselves. Yeah, that's how the relationship is. Maybe daktari, you can add.
Daktari, pengine kwako tu swali lingine ni kwamba Madam Saida pale ndo ameweza kuuliza, anauliza connection ya sinus, tonsillitis na adenoids, ni kwamba kwa sababu utakapokuwa infected na vile virusi ni rahisi sana kuweza kuteremka, ndio maana pia ina affect zile sehemu nyingine. Daktari, kuna Madam Maimuna Yusuf anasema assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum salam. My question to Dr. Salim, what causes acute bronchitis?
Acute bronchitis, the commonest causes of acute bronchitis is viruses. So infections, acute infections. So and viruses are most common compared to other infections. So viral infections is the commonest cause of acute bronchitis, followed by bacterial infections. Yeah, the other thing which causes maybe is chemical noxious gases. So if you have noxious gases, they can irritate your bronchial, and that can cause bronchitis. So bronchitis essentially means inflammation of the bronchioles. So this is the inner lining of the tubes, the airways. So the mucosa, or the inner lining of the tubes, if it is inflamed, that is called bronchitis. It is called acute because it has never been there before, and all of a sudden it happens and it doesn't last for long. That's why it's called acute bronchitis. The other form is chronic bronchitis. It is there for a long period, usually more than 3 months, or 3 months or more, and it can be recurrent. So that's the other entity called the chronic bronchitis. So what causes irritation of the airway is things going through your airway. Zinaenda zinasababisha inflammation and causes the airway to swell, become painful, you cough, or you produce mucus, and the commonest causes are infections. And among the infection, the commonest causes is viruses. Yeah.
Kwa hiyo ni kama pia katika mazingira, vitu ambavyo tu unaweza kuvuta hewa ndani na vikaenda kwenye mapafu yako ndio usababisha. Swali lingine ambalo limeweza kuingia, kwa nini watu wengine wakipata homa hupoa haraka, and when they do, wengine it takes a while to go down? Why, Miss Diana?
It just depends with the body defense mechanism of each individual. Yeah, that's why some people get healed faster, others it takes a bit of time.
Yes. Na hili swali ambalo lilikuwa connected to ile tonsillitis na adenoids, anauliza can improper treatment of adenoids cause deafness, daktari?
Deafness, it can, because what happens if you have adenoid infection, the adenoids swell, and if it is not treated, it can actually obstruct some of the tubes. There's a tube connecting the airway to the ear called the eustachian tube, and if it's chronically blocked, it can cause hearing problems. In terms of the other thing which can cause hearing problems is if there's the nerve, the hearing nerve, what you call auditory nerve, is affected. But that is unless now the infection spread outside the adenoid and involves other parts of the brain or other parts of the respiratory system. But adenoid infection alone will not cause problem with the auditory nerve. But it can obstruct the opening of the auditory, the eustachian tube into the pharynx, and that can cause problems, can cause fullness in the ears, it can cause a bit of hearing discomfort.
Okay. Yeah. Tuje katika, kuna swali lingine hapa limeweza kuulizwa. Kuna mmoja anauliza, wakati mtu ana mafua huwa unatumia, saa nyingine unaku advise you use tissue to, you know, to remove the mucus from your nose, and other people use handkerchief. How hygienic is this?
Handkerchief is not hygienic at all. I mean, even it's recommended when you have a flu, even after you are treated and got better from flu, you don't just change your handkerchief, you also change your toothbrush. Because I mean, the viruses may still be viable the time you are, when you're sick in your toothbrush, and when you go back to your toothbrush, you can reinfect yourself. So handkerchief means you're carrying infected material in your pocket. You just fold it very nicely and put it in your pocket. And you keep exposing it again, you put it back in your nose, and maybe, you know, put it back in your hands, and then you keep on shaking other people's hands, getting into contact with other people's hands. Not every time you're able to wash your hands when you blow your handkerchief.
Yes.
So single-use tissues is better, but you have to be careful. So some people are allergic to some of the materials used to make the tissues. So the paper itself, some people can be allergic to the paper. Some tissues are scented, they are perfumed, and we don't know what kind of chemicals or scent they use in those tissues, and some people may be actually allergic to those tissues. So you hear some people saying, when I use tissues, I became sicker. I sneeze more, I cough more, my nose gets blocked more. It's not because of the tissue, it's probably some of the chemicals inside the tissues ambazo they can, people can react to. So you have to choose your tissues properly. You have to know which tissue, probably the one which is not scented, just a plain paper without any scent, without any perfume, will be much better. But tissues will prefer single use. You use once and you throw it away. You dispose it very nicely. Just don't throw it anywhere where people can access your infected materials.
And Ms. Diana, if I can come to you, kuna swali hapa limeweza kuingia, nasema some of us women especially, we like to do waxing in the ears to remove the hair. Easy, nywele za pua. Sorry, not in the nose, nywele za pua, to remove the hair. And the hair has purposes to trap dust and other particles to get into the lung. So does it affect our health, respiratory health? Iyo waxing ya kutoa nywele kwenye pua?
It does.
It affects.
It affects.
Haya, umeambiwa kwamba unaleta madhara katika umio wako wa hewa unapotoa zile nywele ambazo zinamea kwenye pua, lakini kuna nyingine ni ndefu paka zinatoka nje, kwa hiyo tunaziwacha tu, hakuna trim kidogo.
Sasa hapo itategemea how long they are.
Okay.
But if they are inside, why should you remove them?
Sawa, usitoe.
Let them do their purpose that they were made for.
Kina dada zetu, usitoe nywele zile ambazo zinamea huku kwenye pua, zinasaidia kutrap dust. Let's talk about management and basically just prevention. How do we prevent ourselves from getting respiratory infections and passing them on?
Okay, there are many ways we can do. Number one, it's there are some diseases, infections which have vaccines, and we know some of these diseases. TB vaccines is given in children. We have respiratory diseases like whooping cough, which is very rare, and is because of the vaccine, which is has been given for a long time to children. And currently we also have vaccines against pneumonia, so which is also being rolled out, and it's helping a lot to not just children, also the general public, because the less children get sick, the less everybody gets sick. What you call herd immunity. So if you're going to immunize one person, you did not just protect that one person, you protected everybody around that one person. So one immunization is like immunizing the whole community. So there's immunization against some of these diseases. There's immunization against the flu. So those are things we can do. And then there are respiratory disease in general. Environment also plays a role. So our environment needs to be clean, less polluted. Pollutions means biological pollution. Pollutions means chemical pollution. Pollutions means particulate pollution. And this is what we see around. I mean, our environment is not very clean. And Yeah, so people burning waste here and there. We don't know what they're burning. Sometimes they're burning nuclear materials. We don't know if they're producing radiation or not. People are burning batteries, electronic waste.
Oh, yes.
In open fires. And this will eventually lead to some problems in future. We're complaining about cancers, but some of the problems are arising from our own habits, because we're burning materials we don't even know where they're coming from. We did not produce these computers, did not produce these headphones. We keep on throwing here and there batteries from telephone or telephone electronic parts. So we burn them in open fires, and we inhale all these gases.
Yeah, if I can direct a question to you, Ms. Diana, do you think maybe people now, kwa sababu kuna mtu anauliza, je, tunafaa kutembea na mask kwa sababu hapa town especially magari ile vroom vroom vroom, moshi all the time na vitu kama hivyo, daktari anazungumza kuhusu kuchoma vitu. Sasa tununue mask tutembee nazo?
It will be cumbersome.
It will be cumbersome. So what do we do to be able to protect ourselves?
To protect ourselves, just avoid some of these things doctor is talking about. You don't just, where there is pollution, just try to avoid.
Okay.
Overcrowding, avoid. Yeah, that's the only way we can prevent some of these conditions.
Swali la mwisho kwako daktari, kuna mmoja anasema, if a family member has bronchitis, can it be easily passed on to another person? Because according to research, saliva can result skin to skin touch. Can it be passed on, and how do I prevent myself from getting it?
It's unless it's infective in nature, like I said earlier. I mean, you have acute bronchitis and chronic bronchitis. So if the bronchitis is infective in nature, is viruses or if it's bacteria, then it can be infections, respiratory infections. Their mode of transmission is usually, the commonest mode of transmission is usually through droplets. So, I mean, all these infections, TB, pneumonia, flu, bronchitis, all these respiratory infections, they are transmitted through droplets. So if you have a respiratory infection, then you can easily transmit it to the next person if you are in close proximity, and then depends on how much dose you produce. If you cough, you produce more compared to somebody who's talking.
Yes.
If you sneeze, you produce more bacteria or viruses compared to somebody who is talking. And yeah, sometimes it's not just droplets. People also have droplets of secretions in their hands, and they keep on smearing everywhere they go. On the on the doors, on the buttons, on the lifts.
So
and
frequently wash your hands.
Exactly, yeah. Frequently wash your hands, make sure you wash your hands, and to prevent transmitting to other people, and also for general population, preventing them picking these infections from this, especially public places. You get into a matatu, you hold into the handle next to the seat at the you don't know how many millions people have put their hands on that handle. You get into a lift, public spaces, you don't know how many millions of people have put their fingers on that button, and you keep on pressing there, and then you put it in your mouth, you put it in your nose, you pick your nose.
Oh dear. Haya, ndio kama hivyo tulivyoelezewa na madaktari wetu, na nasi wetu pia anasema angalia mazingira yawe masafi. Practice a lot of hand washing. Kila mara osha mikono yako, kila mara osha mikono. Unapofika nyumbani, unakumbuka mtazamaji, I think hand washing technique inazuia so many diseases. Na kila mara madaktari wao wanasema, kwa hiyo mtazamaji, kumbuka osha mikono yako kila mara, na vile vile practice cleanliness in your environment. Kama unataka kutupa, basi hakikisha unatupa at a designated place, na mahali pale unapotupa zile takataka, angalia huathiri mazingira ya wale watu ambao watakuja wapitie mahala pale. Shukran sana mtazamaji kwa kuweza kuwa nami katika kipindi kizima cha Stay Healthy, tukiangazia magonjwa ya respiration ama magonjwa ya umio wa hewa, na tumeweza kujifunza mengi sana. Comments ni nyingi sana, shukran sana, na kwa timu yangu yote kuanzia producer wangu Muhammad Shakombo na director msaidizi pale Saida, soundman Muhammad Otoyo Children, na vile vile timu nzima ya camera crew. Shukran sana kwa kuweza kufanikisha kipindi hiki, and everybody who helped katika kufanikisha kipindi hiki. Shukran sana. Inshallah tutaonana tena mtazamaji. Kumbuka unaweza kuungana naye kesho Aisha Khan katika the round table ambapo ana discuss pertinent thorny issues. Usibanduke, endelea kutegea Horizon TV. Kwangu mimi maasalam, na shukran sana pia vile vile kwa wale madaktari wetu ambao mmeweza kuja katika kipindi. Kwangu mimi maasalam, see you the same day same time next week biidhnillahil karim inshallah. Maasalam.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Walk with us as we tell you the stories of our society.
Wengine atavaa mtandio kichwani